Hey, welcome to my channel. Let's play Species, Artificial Life, Real Evolution. This game was created in 2018 by Quasar, and I'm not going to go through everything, but I will go through what I'm doing. So the first step is I'm going to change my creatures to just breathe water. So they can't breathe land. They have to evolve to breathe land. I'll set my creature cap to 3,000, but I'll never get 3,000 creatures. The island won't be able to support that many. And the reason is because I'm going to put it on 0.5. So the island's only going to be half the size as normal. I'm not going to use a nursery. I'm going to go back to the options and make sure that mass extinctions restart the game. Okay. Still aquatic. So now what I'm going to do is randomize the map until I find a nice big island with a nice size bay. Because I want a certain kind of ecosystem for my creatures to evolve in. And I think this one will be nice. This one could be a good one right here. I'm going to keep going. Let's see. Let me look a few more. Here, this one. I want a nice harbor like this. And let's let the erosion finish. And I'm not going to change anything else. All of this is good. I'm going to go to advanced settings and change reproduction to sexual. So they have to reproduce the right way. They can't ace it. They can't just pop out new babies on their own. I'm going to put population control on niches. It says niches adjust the efficiency of every type of vegetation in the game independently to try and encourage creatures to occupy all available habitats. Press H in the game to see the complete niche list. So we'll do that when we get into the game. And that's it. That's the only things I'm going to change. And make sure they're aquatic. Okay, generate. There we go. So here's our small island. Now the reason why I wanted this pond here, let's see if I got it. Yeah, this is the environment that I want. This coral kind of looking thing. See how it's all on the bottom here? Alright, so I'm going to go over here. And now all these different groups of worms have appeared in the world in random locations. The ones that popped up on the land, they can't breathe air, so they're not going to make it. So only the lucky ones in the water made it past the first stage. Now the second stage is they need to be next to some food. So they're going to travel over and find some food to eat. And there's different biomes in different seasons. There's 4 seasons: a wet season, a dry season, a hot season, and a cold season. In the ground and the biomes will move around and change. The plants will come and go. And the organisms are going to have to keep up with it. Over here I have a sulfur lake. It's 103 degrees. Over here it's 127 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, so this tropical rainforest over here does have shelter. So you can see down here it says shelter. But I'm going to click times 10 speed. Let's let life kind of move around on its own here. When they give birth, they lay eggs, and each time the egg hatches, they might come out with like a little nub on the side of it, or a different looking face. And sometimes the nub might help them swim faster, but other times the nub might help them. It might make them go slower. So it just depends. It's all random. They might get a tail. Now up here in the top corner, it says that if I put it on slow, you'll see it says 8 minutes and 37 seconds. But when I look at that number, I like to think that it says thousands of years. So like it says 9 minutes up here, but I play on fast. So you know it's only been 5 minutes in the video. So I just pretend like, okay, it's been 10,000 years, 11,000 years. You know, whatever that number says is how many thousands of years it's been. Now there's 23 animals on the surface of the planet here, on this island. And it's the wet season now. And man, these places on the corners of this island are really hot. This is a really hot map. That's alright, they'll learn to live here. Here's our little worms. They're adapting. I don't see any changes yet. Well, yeah, I do. I see in these ones, see, they have little nubs that have evolved on them, little legs, or flippers, or fins, or something. See, this one does. See, it's got like fins on the side of it. They get exhausted really easy. I can show you these. Health capacity, pathetic. Food capacity, small stomach. Zoom into them and follow them around. Walking speed, a bit slow. Walk stamina, rapidly exhausted. His swim speed is decent. His swim stamina is rapidly exhausted. That's why he stops every once in a while to sleep and sniff and rest. Swim stamina, his attack damage is adorable, so he can't really do much. He's just a cute little worm, and he's a very primitive maturation cost is very primitive. Maturation. Maturation. I'm going to exit that view and zoom out. I'm going to speed the game up. We're going to zoom in past a couple thousands of years and see what happens. And I am going to go ahead and take my weather, and I'm going to move the temperature down a little tiny bit, because I really don't want it to be that hot. They might have a hard time adapting so quickly to something so hot. But here where they live here, it's only 70 degrees, 80 degrees. The coast here is about 80 to 90. Yeah, it looks like their legs are getting longer. And this one has eyes now. Or something. Some kind of organ. Oh, it's a horn. He has a horn on the side of his head. That one has a nose. Yeah, those look like noses. If I can get my camera around a good way to see it. This one developed some kind of a underjaw. He's got some weird limbs on his back. Anything else? Any big events? Yeah, so we're 26,000 years into the game. And this is what our only ecosystem on the planet looks like. Alright, move forward. Times 10 speed. Now those legs, this one has 4. This one's got 4 legs. I'm going to click on him and look. It's still aquatic, so he's got to run back to the water to breathe. But they have a lot of food here that they can work with, so that's awesome. And now, even though I want to cool the planet down, I can't press that button too many times, because that might shift all the vegetation all over the place to different areas. And I don't hear any music. There should be music, but I don't hear it. I hear the buttons pressing. Oh well. I'm sure it'll come on eventually. And now when you start off with water creatures, they really like living in these coral reefs. I have 29 animals. Well, I guess I shouldn't call them animals. They're not really animals. They'd have to be from Earth to be an animal. They're species. ALRE, Artificial Life, Real Evolution. ALER. That's what it is on the Steam Workshop. It's called ALER. That's the name of the game on the Workshop. Or not the Workshop, on the store. The store shop. So I got 41 organisms. It's been 43,000 years. And they're just kind of living a long time. I guess you could say it would be like 45 million years. Because evolution takes a lot. Evolution's a little longer than a few thousand. So this would be like 46 million years. 46 somethings. Right? 46 somethings. I don't know the orbit of this planet around the sun. There's no other clock except this 48-minute clock. And I'm not seeing much change. We're in the dry season now, finally. And it looks like things might start to cool down. Maybe the bay up here will shrink a little. Yeah, it's going to give me a lot more coral environment over here. Now there's 125 creatures, and it looks like that they finally breached the gap over here to the other side of the map. So these populations can slowly start to change, a little different from each other. And you can see, if I slow it down, you'll see that now the creature that had those little nubs has started to evolve in all different ways. So these creatures have all different kind of shaped legs and fins, and whatever you want to call them. Some don't have any. That one's got nose in its side of its mouth. Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I want to change the camera view. I don't remember how to change the camera. Oh well. Let's speed it back up. Oh, now they're down here too on the south. Look at that. These little guys here. They got some teeth. They're not a new species yet, so I can't actually see what it looks like on the menu. But you can look at them. Shit, man. Hang on. Let me fix the camera. Okay, that's a little better, I think. Camera's so hard to use. Okay, so yeah, he's got 4 legs, and his underbite has grown a tooth, it looks like. Oh, man. Alright, I gotta figure this camera out. I want to zoom in there and look at him. Okay, I got it under control now. Whenever I'd press one thing, it would do the other. So here he is. He's got eyes. He's got teeth. He's got legs. Look at him. He looks so cute. Oh, he got eaten. Somebody ate him. They pounced on him and they ripped him up. That's alright. All his relatives here kind of look like piranhas. Cool, cool. And that's a lot different than over here. Over here, they are not looking that way yet. This guy has some fur. Alright, I'm going to speed it back up here. Now at this point we're going to see kind of some type of a Cambrian explosion kind of thing happen as they fill out the world and leave their main habitat and they travel out here and they settle into new niches. Right? Some of them are going to eat fruits, some of them are going to eat plants, some will eat grass. And I'm going to try to not be all crazy with my camera from now on. I'm going to turn off their whatever it's called on top of their head, their thoughts bubbles. I'm going to turn that off. Thought bubbles only, thoughts not showing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's 3 options. There's all thoughts, progression bars only, thought bubbles only, and then thoughts not showing. Now there's still only one species, but I have 500 animals, 500 creatures. And I'd say it's safe to say that there's still worms. There's still little worm creatures. And it looks like over here, they still have hair. So some of the animals with hair have still evolved and moved on. Yes, over here, sometimes it's land and sometimes it's water. So they're going to have to, like, that'll help push evolution. But you see that? I seen this predator just pounce on this other organism here and eat it. See, frucivore, frucivore, frucivore. Here's some swimming across the water. They're floaters. Yeah, some dive and some don't. Some float on the surface. If I look at their overview, okay, they're still aquatic though, so they can still go underwater. They still need to breathe water. Can't breathe air yet. Yeah, I have another pocket over here. Let me speed it up. Let's get things moving. And soon, as soon as they get to a point where there's so many different organisms that they all look kind of different, my species number here is going to explode. It'll be like 10, 12 new species eventually, all intermingled and living together. Or maybe not. Every time you play the game and you make a new random world, the way that the island and the environment and the temperature is set up, that determines what type of animals and what type of environment that you end up with. It's really an exciting game, honestly. There's you can get animals that are really, really dangerous and like mean looking. They look like creepy, like dangerous aliens. Then some of them look like cute things, like cute cartoon character kind of things, or like Pokemon. Sometimes you'll get animals that look kind of like Pokemon. And yeah, I keep saying animals because obviously, you say they're animals because they are. They look like it. But, technically, scientifically, an animal has to be a life form that comes from the earth. If you have some kind of organism that moves around on another planet, you'd have to come up with a new name because it would be a whole different kingdom, you know. So this is not from the animal kingdom. They look like animals, but they're their own kingdom. They're primum kingdom, right? Let's see, what are these guys doing? These guys got fur too, and it's the cold season. So if I come back to this spot over here that was really hot, still 105. So it's not a sulfur sea anymore, and it's kind of turning into a reef. So the cold season is going to be the season that these animals like the most. And now after the cold season ends and the hot season comes back up, at the peak of the hot season will be the next time that I press this decrease temperature button. Because I want to get it to the point where it starts to snow during the cold season. Yeah, so all these animals here, there's 2 species now. So I'm going to slow it down. The species has finally split into 2 distinct species. Now I can come here and change the color, and I can see where they are. It looks like they're all one species. Maybe there's slight color difference. Oh, I can't select them. So I'm going to click my satellite map and go like this. So the original species, Premium aquatilium, is all of them. But up here in the north corner is a new species called Premium aquatimentica. Premium aquatimentica. So there's our first unique species to evolve on our island here. They look like swimmers. They got flippers on them. Alright, well I hope they survive. Let's go back to this. Your dad died. Sorry, buddy. I hope they spread. I hope they spread around this corner and out here. Start to eat the seaweed. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to migrate north. And another thing too that I'd like to point out is if you put yourselves in the shoes of one of these organisms, you'll never notice any change. You live in the world that you die in, right? Or you die in the world that you live in. And they don't decide what they look like when they're born. They just kind of are here. But us, because we can blow through time so fast, we can see so many generations come and go and come and go. Hundreds and thousands of generations come and go. We get to see what they look like over time. And you'll see the explosion is happening, sort of like a Cambrian boom. We have all these predators, and it looks like they are carnivores, and they're in here eating all of my frugivores. So eventually these carnivore species is going to split into its own species separate from the guys they're eating. But right now that's all the same. They can still kind of reproduce with each other. I wonder if I should turn the species number down just a little, especially because the planet is so small. I'm going to put breeding range down to 15. I'm going to move it down by 5 points. And I'll try to break the species up a little more. Okay, now there's 5 different species. Let me look. Now I don't know if I want to do that and keep it that way or not, but I'll see what happens. I'm going to check out the map. Okay, so all the species are definitely getting a couple. Right, so here's one half of the map. Whoops. There's 450 of these guys, and 190 of these ones. I better turn this off. Turn off the color coding so I can see the map better. So these ones live down south. These ones live up north. Awesome. That's what I kind of felt like was going on. I'm going to put it on times 10 speed again. So this is kind of what it's going to look like for a while. And the next stage is the organisms need to develop to move fast enough to run around the island and not starve to death if they just travel a few feet. You know, like it takes all their energy and food to come up here and take a bite and run back to the water. Well, eventually they'll be able to come up here and run around the mountain and go hunting and then come back down here, and they'll live a lot longer. Right now their lives are only a few seconds at a time. Good. I hear the music came back. Now on my screen it looks like it's moving pretty smoothly, but my recording screen kind of looks like it isn't. I hope that's not a big deal. Maybe it's just how my TV looks. So here, wow, look at this. We got a new forest. And we got a bunch of organisms living in the forest too. It's like a lemon tree forest. That's dense and thick. Sweet. And that is our savanna tropical rainforest. It's the wet season. What's down here? So it seems like when I zoom out, it messes the camera up, and then when I zoom in like this, it scrolls forward before it zooms in, and then it zooms in. So it's whatever. I'll just, now I realize it. So we definitely have these carnivores. hunting everyone down. They look pretty cool. That one just jumped on him and ate him, swallowed him whole. Cool, so I would say this is a stable ecosystem. It's hard to hang out in one place for a long time because I always want to see what's going on somewhere else. Everywhere still looks pretty much the same though. There's 700 organisms alive. And as soon as they break out of this worm-like leg stage, the population should go to about 1,500 caps. That's probably what it'll cap at. It would be the top number. And that's because eventually on an island this small, they're going to start to eat so much that the grass turns into desert. Like you'll see it change, and they'll have to migrate around the map as they consume the vegetation. But at first you don't have to worry about it because they don't even eat that much. They're little tiny worms. They're primitive. They don't have much metabolism. And so when they do eat, they don't really eat that much. So there's a tremendous abundance of food across the map that just is not utilized at all. Right? It's just sitting there, waiting to be had. And they're all down here hugging on to the coastline, clinging to existence. And there's 800 of them left. And it looks like some of them live over here now. And we're back into the hot season. So we're going to see a new era of seclusion. And we're going to see the diversity die away. And we'll see that the organisms are kind of going to stick to one design. They're not going to be able to go very far as the environment gets hotter and dies off. Yeah, see over here now it's Steven. That forest is gone. There's no animals, there's none of those creatures over here anymore. And I'm wondering if the same thing will happen to these guys here, or if they'll be able to hang out here all season. And now also it's the peak of the hot season, so I'm going to take my temperature and bring it down. One click. It says here it's 61.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Which I don't know where it's supposed to be like centered around. I guess the bottom of this bay here is 69 degrees. But whatever. So there's still 800 creatures, but they're all still confined in this bay. This is the reason why I needed the bay. If you start without a bay, you're more likely to have a mass extinction event. And it looks like I'm not going to have to worry about that for now. And it's too bad that there's not disasters in the game ever implemented. They never put in like disasters like a meteor or a comet or a volcano. Yeah, detail 3000. I have my graphics all the way up, but when I zoom out, some of them disappear. So that's kind of weird. Oh, it's because of the zoom thing. When I zoom out and then it rolls back, they disappear. I don't know. Now it's the dry season, so they're going to probably be able to start to come out more. You know, honestly, it doesn't look like the hot season really affected them that much. And this season would have been colder than the last season. Let me see if... oh, I can show this part. The clad diagram. So here's our first species here. And as he evolves, he changes little by little. We can come down here and see all the different branches that he came off in that are now extinct. So all these organisms have died off. They're no longer around. Oh, and that means, hey, wait a minute. So now that the hot season is come and gone, it looks like those predators. Well, this one's still here. It's a Primum Rimijar. Primum Rimijar. So I'll come back here. Primum Rimijar. Okay. Clad diagram. Oh, it doesn't actually say their name. Oh, it's probably one of these. Rimajor. It's an Otum Rimajor, but it's the same kind. It's a Rimajor. Sometimes the first name changes, sometimes the last name changes. I think first names are bigger changes, and the last name is like the first name is what the animal is, the last name is like a specialized name. It'd be like deer. So it'd be like the first name would be deer, and the last name would be like white-tailed deer or red-tailed deer. But the first name would stay deer. I think that's how it works, maybe? I'm not sure. It could just be random. How do I have a fence selected? Okay, I'm going to delete the fence. I don't know how I selected that. Now there's 5 species and 800 creatures. And it's not the same 5 continuous species. I imagine that they're going extinct and popping up and going extinct over and over again. Now I'm really interested up here. I really want these things to come over here and start to learn how to breathe air. And this is the area where I think that that's going to end up happening. It's like my virtual fish tank. So here we see that it says 306. So it's been 306, yeah, we'll say million years. So it's 306 million years into the game. And we got all kinds of different creatures here. I'll slow it down so you can get a good look at their faces. And they're still kind of like worms, but they're more and more not. Oh, look at that. These guys got tails and cool looking eyes. I think those are eyes. See, he's got a head, a neck, the limbs, tail. Wonder if I can find one that like definitely has an eye. That way I can tell. I think it'll say when you click their overview, their psychology, it'll say if they have an eye. See, this has a tail, a back limb, a forelimb, a neck, and a head. I don't think anybody has eyeballs yet, though. Which is probably why I don't see much color. I think that they implemented if the creature is in the grass and it's green, like if the grass and the creature are both green, the other predator won't be able to see it unless it has a really developed eye. Or they could smell it if they have like a good nose. It wouldn't matter if it was head camouflage if you smell bad. You know, you walk by and they smell it and they eat them. It'll smell like candy bar. Smell like a nice cooked cheeseburger. So 4 species, and it does look like that they're starting to. It looks like one body plan has sort of taken over, right? It looks like that they've evolved into a certain kind of niche that they're specialized in. They come up here on land, and they lay their eggs, and then they come back in the water, and they eat the corals. And if I click on one, it's still a 0.9 for their respiratory, so they're still water breathers. They still can't breathe air. Now this population over here looks a lot different. They're standing up a little taller. They have hair. And it looks like they have horns behind their necks. This one is called Premium Rimajor. Yeah, we've looked at him before. So he's now on their own path. And they look way different than these guys. What are they called? Primum aquaticola. 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 There's more aquaticola. Aquaticola. And this one is an aqua T. There's two different kinds. Right. And this one is the aquatositicola. This is the aquatisiticola. So they're kind of different, kind of the same, but they live in the same ecosystem here, and they live together. And it looks like they're all freezing. They're all freezing to death. It's too cold. We're in the cold season. And look, here comes the forest. The forest is regrowing back where it was here. Right? And the cold season is getting very cold because I turned the temperature down. Still in the 70s. So here it says it's in the 50s and 60s. 44. They're cold. They're cold. A lot of them probably died off. And that's why these ones have hair, because they're having an easier time. Right? It's not that cold for them. Even though they're still freezing, they're not freezing as much. And here they're interacting with one another. So they're kind of living in harmony. I like when you have different species all mixed together, so they're not in clumps, because then they help each other. They evolve with each other. Right? So they're all part of the same ecosystem here. And yeah, it does look like the ones in the water are turning like blue. Wait, do I have my colors on? No, that is what color they are. I'll slow it down a little. They have 1,900 animals, 1,900 creatures. And it looks like most all of them live in the bay. None of them live around the sides of the islands. None of them live down here. They all live right here. Cool. Right here in the bay. Bay of Evolution. Oh, he tweaked himself to death. He's twerking himself. And they do what's it called? Herd. They have herd behavior. So they can herd around in groups, or they can become independent. Depends on how their personalities evolve and what their survival strategies are. It's a healthy, thriving environment. There's 1,500 creatures. There's 5 different species. There's probably a few predators. I can see the ones with the hair are living over here with these ones. What do they have? I didn't even look. Smooth skin. So we got some smooth-skinned creatures over here. Hot-blooded, smooth skin. Oh, it looks like the hairy guys have left. They're gone. They were out-competed. I forgot what their name was. Rimjobes or something. So there's only 3 species left. And now we are in the wet season. And they have expanded out in all directions. And they're getting faster too. So they can swim pretty quick all over the place. They got tails and arms. Let's sit here and look at them for a while. Looks good to me. All different colors. They're just getting started though. Very, very primitive organisms. And I'm going to go ahead and save it really quick. I'm going to go YouTube, and I'll come right back. Let's see, I'll save this, like this, and then I'm going to go to the main menu, options, aha, I don't know how that changed. I'll put that on 3000. Now I'll hit accept, and I'll come back and load. That should help. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see all the creatures from when I'm zoomed out. My bad. Now you can see how they move. They can move around like little fish. They kind of look like fish, worm things, amphibian, but they're neither. They're none of those things. They're their own unique thing, whatever they are. Species. The primums. Oh, look at that. Hang on, let me pause this. What does that say? It tells me their thoughts. I never seen that. I should begin pregnancy. I failed pregnancy. I should scan. I should idle. I should idle in 12 ticks. I finished scan in 13 ticks. Oh, here it goes again. I should find optimal food source. I should scan. I should idle. I should walk to entity after 20 tricks. I'm exhausted. I need to address my fatigue. I nailed to join hurdle. I failed to join a hurdle. I'm exhausted. I'm very broody and need to address my broodliness. I'm very tired. I'm very broodly. I need to address my brood. So these are them talking to themselves. I should sort creature list. I quickly sort creature list. I should repeat until fail. I should get next creature. I am entity in map boundaries. I am not target behind fence. It's all the stuff they say to each other. That's kind of cool. I never seen that. I never paid attention. I just thought it was like, whatever. Alright, that's good. I'll speed it back up again. We'll let these guys kind of do their own thing. Now, since it's the wet season, they are changing colors again. They're going to start to evolve back into different niches. Now, there's only 600 left, so we did have a population collapse. Oh, and I can go here at population history. The clad diagram won't work because I just reloaded it. The clad diagram became endlessly recursing and had to be restarted. Yeah, okay, that happens. So here's my population history. And each one of these lines represents its own species. And the only way that this line can continue is if members of that species can successfully survive and reproduce. And you'll see these big chunks here where most of the species are, and you'll see them change and move into the new lines, right? So you want an ecosystem with tons of these skinny lines all over, and really no big fat ones like this one. This one's getting thinner on top, so everything's starting to die, right? It's the hot season again, so things are going to start to get too hot for these people to survive, these creatures. There's only 200 left on the whole island, right? So there's not many. There was 1,500. Now there's only 300. So all we have left now is the survivors. And it's going to be like this every season, right? It'll explode in population and then die off, and then explode in population and then die off. And that's how the evolution is pushed or pulled back. Things can de-evolve back into worms if things are good enough. If you never have any problems happen, they'll evolve into worms. And it is the hot season. It's been 424 million years. And the planet is now into its hot cycle. And I think that's a lot of change to happen there. 424 million years, that's a lot. 420, it's thousands. It's probably better to say thousands. Because if I go for another, the same amount of time, it'll be a billion years. But in a billion years, they're still like worms. No. Yeah, it's whatever. It's been 4 minutes. It's been 4 hours and 30 minutes. Right? Even though the video is 44 minutes, this is 4 hours in the game. Look at these guys. They're going quick. Oh, they got 6. That one has 6 legs. So we've evolved our first kind of insect thing. Oh, what is this? I am not self. I am not self. I am not same species. I should net next creature. I am not self. He keeps telling himself he's not self. That's weird. Maybe he's trying to speciate into a new species or something. I don't know. But that's cool. We got our first insect kind of thing, or whatever you'd call it. Does this one over here have 3 limbs? No, it's just this one guy here. I don't see any other creatures around the map with 3 limbs. Most only have 2. And I know that that is going to use a lot more energy. So I don't know if it would even be worth it. That's probably why he's the only one. There's 360 left. Well, that means there was probably a few who had 6 legs that I just didn't notice. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to... Oh, I can't. Right. And something's happening over here. Some kind of a population explosion. That's really all they have to eat. They're only eating here, but they can only fit so many people or so many creatures around these plants. So they have to leave and run out and try to come and find food on land, which they can't. Because they can't breathe on land. They got to come back to the water to breathe. And they can kind of find food, and I still don't see any changes when they eat the grass. So they're still not grazing yet. But I say they're doing pretty good, even though they only have 400. They are spread out all over the place. The legs are making it easier for them. Hell yeah. Let's see. These things over here look weird with their funny looking noses. They're phasing in and out of existence. Okay. And we got some of them in the water too. Look at that. What an ugly asshole. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. That's nasty looking. Well, they're survivors. It's not a beauty contest. It's a survival of the fittest contest. In their eyes, they're probably beautiful, right? Because they're the fittest. They're the most fit. I seen that one had a few green spots. That one has some green stripes. It's the beginning of the dry season, and the population has went back to 500, almost 600. These organisms are turning pink. Probably to blend in with the kind of looks like they blend in a little bit over here with the terrain, the sulfur. Well, I got the fence selected again. Oh, come on, select that fence. There we go. Nope. If I can click the right spot. It's hard to click this damn thing. There we go. Fence, remove. Fence, remove. I'm not exactly sure why I keep getting the fence selected. Oh, because I press F. I press F on the keyboard. Huh. So things are stable. Oh, no, they're not. The population only has 200. But that's cool, though. They looks like they're out here, way out in the deep ocean, eating the seaweed. And there's 5 species total. I'm going to turn the temperature down by 1 point one more time. And then I'm going to turn water fertility up a little. And I'm also going to raise the water level a little bit too. Now that's a lot of changes all at once. So now my awesome place here is a rocky shore, a warm sea, grasslands. Well, let's see what happens. There's 200 species, and they are mobile. They're very mobile, and they're swimming around really fast all over the place. So I think they'll be able to survive some bigger changes like that in the environment. And that's how you play the game. You move these menus around to different environmental situations, and then you see how things change. So it's the cold season, and the majority of the organisms are living over here. And it's still the coldest that it's getting is still like 50. It's 40 over here. When the temperature gets low enough, the water will freeze. It will turn into ice. Okay, like over here. Here we go. So here is an ice shelf. The water's frozen over here. It should say, see, cool sea, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. It should say ice shelf. Maybe it's not big enough yet. So next cycle, next year, when it gets to the hot season, I'll turn the temperature down one more time. And, oh, I went the wrong way with the water. I wanted to turn the water down. So I'm going to go 2 times down. I want to get rid of the water so they're being pushed onto land. Whoops. That's fine though. That's alright. I'll come back up and then back down. Yeah, now you can see the water line. The water line was way up here. Now I moved it back, and hopefully this rocky shore, warm sea, rocky shore, grasslands. Once it gets into the wet season, we'll see these biomes start to shift back. Maybe, maybe not. It might never be the same again. They never added earthquakes either, so you can't change the shape of the land. Yeah, they're fast. They're fast now. I'll come down here and check out these ones. They're spreading all over. Now there's 9 different species. There's only 200 organisms though, which is fine because since they're so spread out, if I look at the map and see how spread out they are, they're all along the coast here. So all these different groups have a chance to succeed if something big happens. And I could come up here, I could go something like, is there any way to change? Well, once you start the game, you can't change the weather cycle. The only way to change it is with these buttons. I was trying to see if I could change it to where the hot and wet season happened at the same time, and the cold and dry season didn't. Yeah, see, it says the thought log is open. I don't know how I opened up the thought log. Must have pressed the wrong button. Oh, there we go. V. So V is my camera. So I pressed V. I remember now. I used to do this. So you come over here with your camera, and now I can come right up close to them. I can watch them like this. This is how I'll do it from now on. So here's what things look like here in this area. And what is it, the wet season? No trees grew back here this time. I changed the environment too fast. I'm gonna come back over here to the bay and let's see what things look like. No corals anymore. Corals over here though. I guess it doesn't matter because they're past that part of evolution. Now they're into their fish mode. The fishery antics. I can come in here and swim around with them. I can't go past the border. Well, I guess I can. The border's way over here. So they could come live over here if they really wanted to, I think. $250 organisms. Not too bad. My video here is 55 minutes long. I think this is a successful ecosystem. It survived for 6 hours and 11 minutes. I have 5 species. Let's look at them. Pretty unique. We have premium aquacenticola. Tiseticola, yeah. Let's go over to him. Creature, follow creature. So he's over here, living his best life with his yellow and brown stripes. We got premium aquatessicola, tosicola. He's the other guy. It kind of looks just like him. Now I have premium polythysus. Oh, it shows their stats here. Survival graph. Odds of survival. Lifespan 123 seconds. So it's on generation 119 or 116. Okay, so yeah, there's 320 of these, and there's all these different generations still alive. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 generations of this creature, all alive at once. And its lifespan is 126 seconds. Let's go over to him. Whoops. Follow creature. There he is. Cool. I'll speed it up just a little more. Let's climb up this mountain here. And I'll look down onto him. Here's my world. Come back over here a little. Yeah, it looks like there's 350 creatures. I see these purple things over here standing up pretty tall. So they're starting to get to be to the point where they can run around on land for a pretty far distance. Well, the ones down here don't have legs. Only a few of them do. This one, right over here. Hell yeah, check that out. They're getting faster too. And they do eat each other's eggs. So I'll press V, put the map back to where it should be, like this. Right? Where did I start? Where was my starting location? Right here. Yeah, north and south. Now keep my eyes down here on these organisms. I'm going to go increase land fertility. I'll increase land fertility twice. I'll make the land more fertile. That way they have more incentive, even more, to go to land. And it's a hot season. And let's see. I'm not going to bring the temperature down anymore. I'm going to kind of wait a little. I'll give them a break this time. We got 400, almost 500 creatures. So this is their best time. This is the time they're the happiest. During this hot season here right now. And now each of these individual organisms, they never make it through a whole season. Right? They don't know the difference between the hot season and the cold season. In this creature's head, it probably thinks everything's always been the same way and always will be the same way. Just like anything else. That's how life works, though. You're only a sliver in time. These things are only a sliver in time, each one. Each one of these creatures is both a glimpse into the future and a living fossil at the same time. Now, back in 2018 when this came out, I thought this was like the future of games. I thought this was the future of gaming, you know, like I expected the whole genre to blow up after this. But it never really did. Games like this don't really catch on, you know. I love them. I love games like this. They're like little snakes. These green stripy things have turned into kind of like little fish snaky things. Fishy snaky things. They can get longer and grow tails. These guys got a weird looking tail. They're gross. Some of these animals are gross looking. Make me want to puke. Some of them look really cool though. They go through phases. Really deep down, I got a lot of love for the ugly guys. Yeah, so they're over here at this corner now too. Spreading all the way out here. There's only 3 species. There's 200 animals, 200 creatures. It's in the dry season. I'm going to turn up land fertility to 1 fertile. 1 point. Because it was only a 0.7. So now I'm at 1. Let's see if that helps them. Now they can hopefully come up here and eat some shit once plants start to grow more. Yeah, these fast ones here, I think they're predators. Yeah, look. You can see when they bolt off like that and swim, they always go and they catch somebody and eat them. See? Let's follow this guy. Says he's starving. And now he's going to go over here. He's exhausted. He's terrified. Oh, he died. Exit, follow. Oh, because he laid an egg. So he died when he laid the egg. That's why he was terrified. I guess it was a she. Oh, they're eating the eggs. Yep. There they go, eating the eggs. Bunch of egg eaters. That's why they're so fast. You got to learn how to be fast to get in there and take what they want and then get out of there. And it'll be an arms race with these ones. These ones will learn how to swim faster to run. And it looks like there's way more herbivores than there are meat eaters. And so it's a balanced ecosystem here. And it's only going to get more advanced. Let me click this creature and I'll see the overview. Now they still say very primitive, but its cost is 210. When I started, I think their cost was only 20. So they've gone, the little worm has gone from using 20 energy to 210 energy. Yeah, let's see. Very primitive, mostly harmless. This one's harmless, fairly fast. And see, it doesn't get rapidly exhausted, it just has low. So it can run for a lot longer, a lot faster. Fairly fast, stamina low, attack damage harmless. And it looks like they do herd together. It says it's a herbivore. I guess it just has whatever it sees, whatever's the easiest to get. No, this one's a carnivore. Yeah, this one is a carnivore. Slow it down here. Herbivore, herbivore, carnivore. Aquatis seticola. Yeah, that's the same one. So that's the same creature that we've been following around. He just looks a lot different now. Well, they look a lot different. Even though they need two creatures to reproduce, the creatures in this game don't have genders. They're just creatures. Like I said, they're not animals. Animals have genders. These things don't. They have something else. They have something else. All their organs are different, and they're the wrong spots. Yeah, so at this point of the game, at this stage, things are going to kind of stay, if it's balanced, it looks like it might be too balanced. I don't want evolution to slow down, but I do see a lot of changes happening over time. So I think the rate of change is still good. So now it's the cold season. There's 300 creatures in 6 different species. I'm gonna come look really quick and see. There's 3 species with a lot of population, and they're all living together. The top one lives down here and in the bay. The second one here, and they're all seticolas. Oh, this last one changed their name, Primalis. And then this one's a Pseudium. But they're keeping the name Aquatisticola. A few letters change here, here and there. So the first one lives in these bays, and the second one. They live together in the bays. The third one exclusively lives along this coast. Ooh, my weed is harsh today. Yeah, so this species here, I think I'm going to go to world options. I'm going to put breeding range down to 10. And I'll adjust it to that. Because it does look like there's a lot of unique creatures that are all part of the same species. I don't want them to reproduce together. So it'll be split off. So now there's 10. Now there's 10 species. If I go down too low, wow, look at this one. They kind of look the same, but they act different over time too. Their attitudes and their movements change. So their brains evolve and their bodies evolve. Yeah, so now there's 10 species, and it looks like most of them have enough creatures so they could reproduce. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is go here to creature color. And I'm gonna color them all different really quick here, so I can come in here and see how split they are. Yeah, so those fish worm things are really doing a good job in their niche over here, whatever they have specialized in. And that's why this is my favorite part here, this part, this animal control. This is actually a new function that was added in towards the late stages of the game development. And when you turn on niches, that just makes the game just amazing. You know what I mean? Because each of these species kind of tends towards one type of way to live. And there's all different variables involved too. So over here it looks like I got 1, 2, 3. There's like 3 or 4, 5 different species all living together. And see, it looks like these guys here have moved all the way around the map. So they're all around here, all up in here. These green ones, the fish snakes. I'm gonna call them fish snakes because it looks like how they move. Over here, there's a whole different species, whole different color, these pink ones. They all kind of live together and swim together. That's what I want to see. All different species. I'm going to speed this up here. I'm going to keep my eyes on this coastal area. They're starting to climb up this mountain. There's 600 creatures and 18 species. And yeah, a lot of the species, there's like 100 in these ones, a couple dozen in these other ones. The species here that only have one creature in it, they're doomed. But if they can pop a species with like 9 members, like if a sack of eggs hatches and they're all the same, and then they reproduce whatever with the other populations around them, they can get into being a new species. You get 9 of them all at once, they could take over the whole map. Take over the whole map and evolve into a whole bunch of new species that haven't existed yet. Now this one down here has changed. Primum tigrisecticola. So now it's a tigrisecticola. Yeah, they're different now. They're different. Where's the old ones? The old ones are up here. So the original species is still around. But down here, we can see in the south half of the south water, they've changed because they have this new color. But if I turn the color off here, they look the same. But they kind of look different. They're kind of more skinny and sleek. Alright? But up here, if I look up here on these ones, these guys, well, they kind of look the same. Yeah, I'll keep on the color coding. And let's see, come look over here too. Any really good changes? No, I'm gonna speed it up. They're doing a good job of splitting up in different colors on their own. So I don't really need to keep that color change in there. They love that seaweed. But they're kind of evolving back into being like worms. They don't have any limbs anymore. But I guess they don't need them. They're going to get faster and faster. And it's a hot season, and I can see that it's not that hot, and the land has grass. So remember when the game started, the hot season, everything was on fire. It was desert, smoking. It was a sulfur sea over here. Now it's a reef. It's the peak of the hot season. So it's a good thing last year I didn't click that temperature button, because I think the temperature is kind of still adjusting. But I do feel like I might want to lower the water. If I lower the water and I get rid of this pond, I feel like I'm going to kill the entire island. Because there's 14 species, but there's only 260 creatures. Let me see how many carnivores there are. So the first creature, this one here, 70% carnivore. There's 7 of them. Let me find another one. There's 24 of these ones. They're half carnivore. Well, half their food is meat, so. This one here, there's 30 of them, and 64% of their diet is meat. They're carnivore. It looks like they live down here in the South Seas. Yeah, because they're the seticola animals. Now it's a Vuzhusi seticola. The premium stayed the same though. This creature here is 100% foliage, and it's a Padium aquatos seticola. So they're all kind of the same names. They'll change and change. This one here is a Primania pony isiticola. So it's all these crazy names. I probably should try to stop reading them. I like the drastic change in colors, how half are pink, half are green. Some of them are kind of blue. I think that the pink ones came from those fuzzy creatures that evolved over here in the beginning. So now the map is on 8 hours and 42, so it'd be like 843,000 years. So it's almost been a million years. And yeah, the 1,000-year thing, that's a good one. That's the one I always like to use. Imagining it's 1,000. Here's all of these. They really like this area. This is like a really good spot for all these creatures to live. Seems like there's always plants here. And there's always multiple species here too. Oh, they've ate all the plants. Wait, did I just see the end of this whole ecosystem? So the ecosystem that's been sitting here for so long, for the past 20 minutes, just dried up and died right in front of me. Interesting. Drink some water. Now if I move over here to the other side of the map, you can see all the seaweed, so they can come live over here and eat that seaweed. They're getting more complex with these balls and stuff all over them. And they still say very primitive and harmless. Mostly harmless. Adorable. Okay, good. Speed it up again. They're still not going to go into the stage here where they're on land, and I feel like they're really close to being able to do it. So I'm going to take my water level, and I'm going to lower the water. Click it one time. Try to drive them out of the water onto land. There's plenty of food on land if they can just learn how to graze. And it'll take time, but by this time on the next cycle, be like, you know, dry season, wet season, hot season, cold season. On the next cycle, I bet that you'll see this water level get lower. Then when I notice it's lower, I'll press it again. Maybe I'll wait a few cycles. Those little pink things are kind of starting to turn red, and it looks like they're fast. They're really fast. And it looks like the little worm snake things, they're getting limbs. Started to evolve. It's got legs now. It's got 4, like a flippers or something. Legs or flippers, whichever you want to call it. So now they'll be even faster. And if one organism is born and it has like a weird mutation that makes it better, and it reproduces with one of these that doesn't have that mutation might not spread, you know, or it might turn into some kind of weirder mutation that doesn't work at all. Yeah, I love seeing all these different colors, all these different colored creatures. Over here, they're all the same color, this white kind of yellowish color. Over here, it looks like they're all kind of pink and red. But here in the middle, I like how it's all different. It's kind of pink and green. And I don't have the species colors on. When I turn them on, you can see even more clearly how separated the species are. In the species, the more similar the color is, the more similar the species, right? Because the color only shifts little by little. But on these other parts of the map, it looks like it's mainly just one species. Every once in a while, I'll see a new one pop up here and there. Yeah, see, I just seen a bunch of them just flipped over to this bright green color. So we've seen a new species born right in front of our eyes there. They were this lighter color and they changed it to this bright green color. Like a light blue to, or a white. Yeah, see there they changed again. Now all those purple ones, now the new species, they're purple species. Oh, I guess I have a ghost in my house because all my stuff just fell over. Let's see here. I'll keep my eyes down here now, and I'm going to see if any species, well, actually not there. I'm going to come up here. See if any species change. If I can see any. It looks like it's kind of dying out, right? Because now it's a lake. It's not a bay anymore, it's a lake. And the water level is really low. The population now is 230. I'd like to have more plants on land. So I'm going to raise the fertility again. The stable fertility of the land. Note that this changes take place gradually. Right. And I see some snow here. So yeah, let me look. Turn this off. It is the cold season. And here's some grasslands. It's only 50 degrees. So I still don't see snow. There's only ice right here. So I'm going to turn the weather down. I'm going to click it one more time. Because the summer is pretty nice, but I still want more snow. I want snow and I want ice to come and cover the water. And that's going to help push them even more onto the land. I think. In my head, that's what would happen. So the population is going down, right? Because they don't really like the cold. And then when they do evolve hair, summer comes around and they don't like the summer, so they end up dying off. So let's see, this bay is now a lake, and we still have the fish, the new species down here that evolved still exists. But up here, I don't see any more of those fish creatures that I was watching earlier. There's none left. I'll come over to the other side of the map, and I'll see the same story. There's none left. They're extinct all over the place. The only ones left are these ones, the new bright green species that I seen evolve. And they're not doing too well. They're still carnivores, right? Yeah, they're still carnivores. And I think they're still the main carnivore. But they're running out of food. There's way more of them now than there are herbivores. So it's not balanced like it was. In fact, the whole ecosystem has been thrown out of balance. And now it's the wet season again. And I can look around the map, but the temperatures are going back up to the 80s and 90s. But here is still 50, which I was hoping that this area would stay hot. That's fine. Up here is the 80s and 70s. And there's mostly still water creatures. They live down here in the seaweed. Right, but I want to keep my eyes on these slimy ones. Oh, they just changed color. So they just split into two new species. There's a yellow one here and a green one here. So it looks like these corals are back. And the organisms are condensing around this area again. Around these coral reefs. Yeah, so let's see. It's the wet season, huh? Let's take this water and I'm gonna lower it. I'll click it twice. That'll be drastic. That's gonna be bad. But that's fine. We need to put some stress on these organisms. They're a little too comfortable on the coast. They're getting more colorful. I'd like to get organisms to evolve to be like a bright blue or a dark blue. I think that'd be the coolest. In fact, can I make a rover? I'm going to try to make a rover that just feeds populations when creatures with okay, age. Let me pause this. Primary color, saturation hue, primary color hue, no. Laziness, gluttonous, mass, fruit-based bias, foliage, grass, diet. Color hue. I want it to be blue, but high color hue. Whatever. I'm not going to do that. Let's hit that speed up button again. I want these things to evolve. So I'm getting rid of the water. So here I have a lake on an island in a lake. And I think this lake is going to be really nice. And we'll see around... So it's the hot season right now. And I still don't see much plants growing here, but it is a tropical rainforest. So I think the plants are able to. They will. They probably just have to like move that way. The plants, I think the plants kind of evolve on their own too. Here's a Cyad 3, and there's a fan palm. Okay, so it's whatever. It's whatever. I have 460 organisms, 13 species. So now that things are climbed back up to their height, I'm going to come down here and look around. That looks the same, kind of. What do we got over here? So the whole southern shore is kind of the same biosphere. Now here's a different biosphere in the middle. And I'm not seeing too much variety. There's this thing here. Looks like a mole rat. Ugly looking guy. He's got a fish tail. And he's walking on his hands, and his feet look like buoys that help him float on the surface. And he's got two teeth that come out of a really nasty looking mouth. No eyes. He's blind. Yeah, so the creatures in my island here just don't want eyes. They just never evolved any. I'm going to turn back on the species color coding. You can't tell when they change species if you're not looking at this when they're lit up, these colors. Ooh, down here, look at that. There's like 4 different colors, 4 different species. Let me turn off this. I'll come look at them, yeah. Turn that back on. They're gone now. They went extinct. Oh no, there's 2 left. There's a bunch of yellow ones. And they're slowly starting to come back onto land. They're walking around on land. They have legs. And let me see. They're still aquatic. Now I'm wondering if I should push that up like in a different direction or not. I don't know. I kind of don't want to artificially do it. I want them to do it on their own. Yeah, so hot season and the water level is still pretty low. I'm going to lower it again. I'm going to go one more time. That might dry the whole lake up. So I think this lake is going to go away. It might just be a little tiny pond now from now on. It might dry up completely. So it's more like a swamp. So it's like I left a little swamp there for them to be able to evolve into. A whole different ecosystem and niche. More like kind of down here. So there's 500 organisms, and it looks like this whole coast is covered with these pink organism things. So that's alright. And I have the species colored on, so it's all one species, all up and down the whole coast here. Very successful species, I think. I would say that's what it looks like. And it does have 3 limbs. It walks on the first one, so it has 2 in the middle and then 2 in the back. Probably that helps it swim. And now some of their faces look a little different than others. So they are starting to speciate away from each other. Can't really get the camera in there good. Here's something in the middle that's a whole different species. It looks the same though, so maybe it branched off from them. There's one. There's one that changed. Yeah, there was a shift, and a couple of them in here changed a little. I'll come back around to the south. Nothing really going on there. I haven't looked over here in a while. Speed it up, times 10 speed. It's like a speculative alien environment. Yeah, so these swamp creatures are kind of starting to look a little different now that I changed the biome with the lake. Looks like they have 3 legs, but one of them's come out all crazy like a spike. Come back to this side over here. And they all look different. Some have fur, some are blue. This one's blue. Yeah, too bad I can't click on them because they're too far away from the side of the map. I guess I can do this. That's whatever. Yeah, this one has got gray and orange stripes. They're all different looking. They fight with each other and stuff. Let me turn their mind back on here. Exit that, turn this on. And you can see what they're doing. You can see that they're still suffocating when they come up on land. They fight with each other. They're thinking about eating. This one's too hot. Awesome, awesome. Come down here to this corner and see some stuff over here. It's exciting. I'm going to turn back on the color coding for species. See, it's still basically the same species, but they look so different that the species is probably about to collapse into a few different ones. And I want to see it happen when it does. I want to be watching it. I always feel like that's really cool when that happens. And I forget, what did I set this to? I set it to 10. Breeding range 10. Okay. I gotta try to remember that. Yeah, I just have this game sitting in my library. Every couple of years I open it up and play it. And today I decided to open up and play it. And I figured, why not record it? But I haven't seen a new video of this thing pop up in a long time. I love watching these videos about this game. I try to find as many different videos as I can about the Species Artificial Life Real Evolution game. And there's a few of them. I like them all. Now I'm adding to the mix. I'll add to the pot. So once you burn through all of these species videos and you can't find any more to watch, well, hey, on the bottom of the list, now you have mine. But it's been an hour and a half, and I think I'm going to call this a pretty successful ecosystem. Now I did end up with pockets. I have one species over here on the east side of the map. I have another unique species here in the middle of the lake. And I have another unique species in the south here. And then all up the west coast here I have another totally unique species. So it's not as mixed as it used to be. But that's fine. This is a perfect plate to stop the simulation. So then next time when I start the simulation off, we have all these pockets that can hyper specialize themselves in these areas, and we'll see which one breaks out of their pocket first, and we'll see them mix back together. But yeah, I think it ended in just the perfect place, having the species separated like this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 main species, right? There's 1, 2, 1, 2. Let me turn this off here. I have 1 over here to the east, 2 to the west, this third one in the middle, the fourth one to the south, and the fourth one has another one kind of combined with it, this Discium poniesticola. They're kind of together, so they probably just split apart, even though they look very different. This one's mostly foliage, and this one's mostly meat. Right, because these ones attack these. We've been watching those. I've been watching those the whole time. I know they're carnivores. They've always been carnivores. And now all these other random species are just little ones. They got like 8, 5, 1s, 3s. And before I leave, I will come down here and check this out. They got like feet growing on them now. What am I doing? Let's see here. Yeah, so these things got feet. They look like a platypus kind of turtle thing. So you can see that they are getting a lot more complicated and developed, right? Here's another one, right? They got feet now, like turtle feet or whatever, and they're glitching in and out or some whatever because it's a video game. It's not real. And let's see, can I select him? And I'm going to look at his species. Like this. Can I spin him? No. Alright, I can't do anything else. That's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you have a great day. Or whatever. Yeah, I don't like ending videos. I gotta figure out a good way to end a damn video. I'm gonna save this. Just like that. Okay, see you later.